Hello, all you professional wrestling fans. This is Squared Circle Speak, the pro wrestling podcast talking anything and everything professional wrestling. I am Ryan. With me is my co host Nathan, and we have a fantastic episode or week of episodes over on YouTube for you. We have some fun stuff lined up like we always do. Nathan, are you ready? Are you excited? What's on your mind as we get ready to record this shit?
No, we got some good stuff today. Let me just say that usually we start with WWE, which we still are. But man, I wish we were starting with AEW first.
Um, yeah, our AEW show, the AEW part of this is going to be very, very interesting. But like we said, we've got to start as we always do with WWE news and results and all that fun stuff. This was the Raw after WrestleMania this week, and eh, it was all right. Um,
It definitely did not live up to the standards of Raw after Mania.
yeah,
And they did announce that there's going to be a draft really soon.
yes, the draft is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
So I'm guessing that we're just kind of, I don't know. On Raw, it felt like we were just coasting, and NXT too, honestly. Felt like we were just kind of coasting until we get to this draft, until they switch things up and storylines become fresh and
yeah, so the
stuff like
draft will
that.
be April 26th and April 29th on SmackDown and Raw. So we got like the end of the month here. But yeah, this show you had Ilya Dragunov and uh Roxanne Perez show up and both wrestle. Um, I'm not sure if they're I don't know. It would be weird for Roxanne Perez to get called up when we just won the championship.
I don't think they're getting called up.
I
I
think this
think
was
that
just kind of like a hey, NXT people are going to get called up in this draft. I think is what it was kind of like a hey, well, you know, NXT is going to be involved in this draft too. I feel like.
yeah, I think it was kind of that, and it was also like people expect call ups, and they were like, "Well, we'll give you this because we're
Yeah.
not really doing call ups, but we'll give you this."
Yeah, it's kind of stupid to do a call up right before a draft. The Rock and Cody had their long ass promo.
Dude, this thing with commercial breaks took up the whole first hour.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
it was kind of ridiculous
It
because
was stupid.
you had that. Then, like I said, you only had what was it? One women's match, two women's matches,
You had
two women's matches,
yeah, you had Roxanne versus Indy, and then you had Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green.
and that one was like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that one went once. Yeah, that one barely happened. So
Yeah, so that was not great. The tag champions, were they even on the show?
yeah, they had a six-man. Austin Truth and John
Oh,
Cena defeated the Judgment Day. John Cena came back and won, but he was
yeah.
in the match for like 5 seconds. So Priest had one segment barely on the show. He just won the world title and felt like an afterthought, which kind of sucked.
Yeah, that wasn't a good feeling. Uh, yeah, he definitely feels like an afterthought. It's not good. I
Yeah.
hope next week they do something more with him.
Yeah, I feel like just because this was after Mania, they had to have Cody on there. I'm hoping Cody stays on SmackDown now.
Yeah, well, they got their they got they got their number one contender on Raw lined up.
Yeah.
So maybe that's when Priest is gonna.
Yeah. That match was good. Um, they had a four-way. Jay Uso, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, and Bronson Reed had a fatal four-way match. The winner is the number one contender. I was a little confused because I think because Samantha Irvin fucked up or Winnie Nuts fucked up and said this was an elimination match. Uh,
Right.
and then it wasn't, so I was very confused. But this match was fun. Uh, Ricochet did a springboard 450 from the ropes all the way out to the announce table, which was fucking
Yeah, it,
insane.
it looked like he broke his wiener. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude,
He hit
he
hard
hit
on
the
that table.
he hit the edge of the table, and it was like, oh.
Yeah.
But this was a fun match. CM Punk once again got involved. McIntyre was lining up for the Claymore. Punk grabbed his leg and cost him the match, and Jey Uso ended up winning. So Jey Uso is the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. It looks like Punk is, if he's not cleared, he is really, really close to getting cleared because they are really pushing this McIntyre Punk match, and I feel like he's got to get cleared soon. And
Yeah.
that match is probably going to happen at Backlash. So,
Yeah, it might. Jey Uso, how you feel about him being the number one contender?
um, if he can
You
have a
feel like it's
better,
too early?
if he can have a better match than he did with his brother, then yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, of the four in the match, Ricochet would have been fun to see, but Jey is over still, so I mean, it makes sense. I don't see him winning.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going. I see Damian Priest winning that match, but you never know. I hope Damian Priest isn't just like a transitional champion, and and he loses it at Backlash. But
Well,
I'm okay with Jey Uso being number one contender. I don't think he should win the championship, but I'm okay
yeah.
being the number one contender.
Well, I figure he's definitely Damian Priest is definitely not holding this belt, a long time. I'd say hopefully, like, it'd be nice as if he held it to Money in the Bank, and then because he cashed in with his Money in the Bank to win this belt, and then like he holds it to Money in the Bank and then loses it because that'd be a little. I feel like that'd be a good reign. Just a couple months. You don't need to be
Yeah,
no year-long champion. I think
yeah,
it's time we start hot potatoing these belts just a little bit, just to spice it up and let some other people hold those belts.
yeah.
What about NXT, Ryan? It was
Um,
kind of a letdown.
well, you talked about not having very many women's matches uh on Raw, but we had a lot on NXT. NXT was insane.
Yeah.
NXT had a whole bunch of women's matches. We'll get into it. But we had a big debut on this show as well. As Javon Evans made his debut, which if you don't know who that is, he was on the indie scene for a while. He was over in DPW.
DPW.
So he was Jay Malachi on the independent scene. He is very fun. That he had a really good match. He can really go in the ring. It wasn't a very long match, him and Scripps, but he did end up getting the win. So he did a springboard twisting splash thing. I don't even really know what he's talking about. But I mean, yeah, this show was the first segment was Roxanne Perez opening up the show, talking about how she's the champion, blah blah blah. Lyra Valkyria came out. She was not medically cleared, and then Paxley ended up turning her back on Lyra and like threw in her steps. So I guess that's Lyra's next feud. Yay. Then Natalya comes out, and then it's announced that Natalya and Roxanne will wrestle tonight.
Uh-huh.
So we had Fallon
That's
Henley.
what everybody wants to see.
Yeah, Fallon Henley, Keontae Jordan took on Izzy Dame and Kiana James. Dame and James wins this match. Then I said Javon Evans and Scripps. Natalya and Perez had a really good match. Perez ends up getting the win. So she defended her title successfully, of course.
Yeah.
D'Angelo family beat the No Quarter Catch crew. Uh, yeah, a lot of stuff happened. Brian, there's a lot of people I don't know who they were. Like Brindley Reese took on Jada Parker. I don't know. But actually, the biggest thing to come out of this was Axiom and Nathan Frazier win the NXT championships. This was a really fun match between them and Corbin and Breaker. Very fun.
Why
But then,
didn't this happen?
yeah, I
Why
don't know.
didn't this happen at Stand and Deliver?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just pull the trigger and then deliver and wait till NXT. But after the match, Karrion Kross and the Final Testament appear, and the Authors of Pain beat down the new champions. So I don't know if this is Kross's, like if he's going to be on NXT for a while, because he was not on SmackDown.
Yeah, man. This guy, man. He could never win a match, and now he's down in NXT again. Uh, yeah, they might in the draft say that he was in NXT, or they might just have him down in NXT. I don't know. Um, I don't know, dude. There's a lot of rumors that he's having issues backstage, so maybe that's his downfall. I don't know, dude. There's something going on though, because that guy,
Yeah.
he's got it. He's got the hot valet. He's got this group with him now.
Yeah,
You
he's got a
thought maybe this,
legendary manager.
yeah, you thought maybe this was it, but no, he's falling all the way down, man.
It's crazy. Uh, so I don't know if this is going to be a permanent thing or if it's just like a temporary thing for him to go back down to NXT for a while. But man, from WrestleMania just all the way down to NXT.
Yeah.
The only thing that happened was Trick Williams came out. He challenged Dragunov to a match. Dragunov said no. Williams kept persisting, and Dragunov says fine. You can have it in 2 weeks of spring breaking, but if you lose, you have to leave NXT.
Uh-huh.
And then Carmelo Hayes attacked Trick, and he says you're not even going to make it to spring breaking because they're wrestling in a cage match next week.
Yeah, well, let's just take a minute to say, God damn, that's an awful name for a pay-per-view.
Spring breaking?
Yes.
Well, it's
That is a
not necessarily a pay per view. It's a special. It's on.
Wow, it's a horrible name.
Yeah, spring break is awful. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Sounds like that sounds like an AEW pay per view. Honestly, what did they
Sounds
have
like
like?
you know what it sounds like? Sounds like a Girls Gone Wild fucking
It,
video.
you
That's
know
what it sounds
what?
like.
Honestly, I was thinking that. I was like, this sounds like spring breaking sounds like something either MTV or something would have had back in the day, or
Yeah.
like a Girls Gone Wild episode or some video. Girls Gone Wild spring breaking.
Yeah. Let's get into so SmackDown happened. Um, we had some big stuff on the show, Ryan.
Yeah,
It
Cody.
kind of made up for the lackluster Raw and
Yeah,
NXT.
not a lot of matches, but a lot of stuff happened. A lot of big stuff happened. Cody came out and cut a promo. Whatever. Uh, it was a Cody promo. It talked about the Rock, about everything. But then we had two triple threat matches on this show. The two winners will face off next week to become the number one contender for Cody Rhodes' championship. The first one was Bobby Lashley, Santos Escobar, and LA Knight. Really good, fun match. It broke down with the Street Profits and Legado all getting involved, and then all that happened, and then allowed LA Knight to hit Santos Escobar with the BFT. It's LA Knight wins, and we'll move on next week.
How you feel about that?
Of the three, I think that probably the best call.
You want to see Bobby Lashley and Bobby Lashley and Cody Rhodes?
Bobby Lashley and Cody Rhodes. I don't know. I mean, Lashley could have been fun. I actually would have liked Santos just because it's like a little shock thing. But yeah, LA Knight's over, so it makes sense to have him win this match and move on. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the other match. The other triple threat match was the main event of the show, but we'll kind of skip around here. It was Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles. A really fun match. This one was great. The ending, AJ was on the top rope. Ray climbs up, goes for Hurricane Rana. AJ blocks it into a Styles Clash off the top rope onto Kevin Owens, who is laying on the mat. And AJ gets the win. So it's going to be AJ
It's a
versus LA Knight.
very dangerous move for Rey Mysterio to take.
Very dangerous move for all three of them, honestly. Like, that really could have ended really weird. So we're going to have a rematch for Mania, as it's going to be LA Knight and AJ Styles next week. Who do you think's going to win, Nathan? Is it going to be, they're going to do AJ versus Cody, or are they going to do LA versus Cody?
I think it's going to be AJ. I think AJ is going to get his win back over LA Knight, and then we're going to have a really good match with AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. But obviously Cody's going to win that one. But that'd be a good first title defense
Yeah, you've
for
got
Cody
history
Rhodes.
there between Cody and AJ, due to their Japan stuff and all that. So that could be a really fun match as well. So yeah, I feel like AJ's gonna win too. Unfortunately for LA Knight, I think AJ's gonna win. The other major thing that happened, we had the bloodline come out. Heyman was talking about everything going on, talking about how Roman lost, but he's gonna rise like a phoenix. But then Solo cuts him off, and he tells him,
Hmm.
losing and winning matters. There are consequences to losing, and that means consequences need change. He pushes Heyman out of the way, and he looks at Jimmy. He hugs Jimmy and tells him he's his brother and loves him. And then Tama Tonga comes into the ring and beats up Jimmy, and Jimmy and Solo destroy him. And Solo hit him with 4 Samoan spikes. Um, and then Heyman's gonna call Roman Reigns, but Solo grabs the cell phone and smashes it.
Hmm.
They placed a steel chair around Jimmy's neck. Um, and then Solo slams into the chair like he did like the Rikishi thing, into the chair. And this was just brutal. Like, Jesus, but Tama Tonga's here. Where is this heading? Because later in the night, Solo said that the bloodline, that the tribal chief, like, said to do that or whatever. So is this heading to a like bloodline versus bloodline thing where it's going to be like Solo, Tama Tonga, and The Rock versus the Roman and the Usos? Because I feel like the tribal chief Solo was talking about was The Rock and not Roman. Because it felt like he
I
didn't want Roman
you,
to know.
you you think that, but I don't think so because if the rumors are true that The Rock gave Cody one of the beads from the Romans thing and kind of made him tribal chief because he beat
True,
Roman Reigns.
true. Or maybe he didn't do it because Cody beat it. Maybe he was just letting Cody know I'm the tribal chief now.
Okay, that could be. That could be. Or
I don't know.
what if the new tribal chief appointed by the whatever the elders
Yeah,
is not either one of those guys?
it may not be.
What if it's a guy that hasn't debuted yet? Maybe it will be Jacob Fatu.
I, I don't know. This was shocking because I really didn't expect to see Tonga at all, especially not in WWE. I figured if he was going to be, they'd be in NXT, but I guess they figured, and he got a decent reaction, so
Yeah,
crowd kind of knew who he was. This was insane. I don't know where this is heading. I guess maybe the Usos will get back together or something. I don't know where this is going. But if they do a face Roman, that'd be very interesting.
yeah,
It could be Solo like is the new tribal chief,
it could be.
and it's
It
gonna be
could be.
Solo, Tonga, and Batu, and then you're gonna have Roman and the Usos, and we're gonna have a big 6-man thing. I don't know. So interesting. This was the big development of the night though, and it was very interesting. They said that the new Bloodline storyline was going to be take you down a path, and this really took us down something. Uh, Braun Breaker was back. He defeated Cameron Grimes, Nathan, who hadn't been on the show in a long time. He's back, but he lost the Breaker. Poor Grimes.
Grimes and Cross just need to just have a pity party together because they both have just fallen off.
Yeah. The only thing that happened, Bailey comes out and she said she's going to give an opportunity, but then Tiffany Stratton comes out. But Bailey says, she had someone else in mind, and that was Naomi. Now, what did Naomi do to deserve a championship match?
She won at Mania.
Yeah, but so did 2 other people in her same group.
True, true,
Didn't even get the
true,
pinfall in that match.
true.
But then so Bailey and Naomi and Tiffany Stratton wrestled. Naomi gets the win. So
Very slow. Naomi is very
yeah,
slow now.
yeah.
This was not a great match.
Tiffany looked good. But Naomi kind of held her down a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Naomi. I think TNA kind of ruined her.
Yeah, I mean, I can
I-
understand why Naomi wins this match because obviously, if Tiffany would have won, she probably would have won an earned a title shot, and I don't think they want her already going for the title and losing. So, it makes sense for her not to win, but it's kind of weird anyway. um, And then Chelsea Green and Piper Niven took on Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, and Cargill and Belair won. So that was SmackDown. Yeah, so they're going to eventually have those two wrestle, right? Cargill and Bianca, they have to.
Yeah, I think Cargill's going to be a heel eventually.
And it makes more sense, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know. SmackDown was better than Raw this week. I would
Yeah,
say.
absolutely. Very,
With Tama
very much
Tonga
so.
getting very interesting, and I guess the bloodline's not over. We don't know what direction we're going to be heading with the bloodline, but we're heading somewhere. Um, some news from WWE. Big E talked about his status. He said 2-year neck scans are in. Things are unchanged. My C1 has healed fibrously, but it's not formed new bone. I'm not medically cleared, and truthfully, I may never be cleared.
Right.
So I hope they do something with. Maybe you can transition to being an announcer or something, because
Yeah.
I miss Big E being on TV. And when you see him, like, he's here on the kickoff shows and he's here on the WrestleMania stuff, it's so cool to see him around, and he's got such an energy that brings up, So I would like, maybe if he can never wrestle again, make him an announcer or something. Just to let him be on TV again, because kind of sucks not seeing Big E anymore.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's healthy and he feels good. He's got no pain, so I mean, it's awesome. Good for Big E. That's great. But it just kind of selfishly, it just kind of sucks because I like to see him wrestle when I miss him wrestling. But obviously, if he can, doesn't want to try it if he can't. So,
Yep.
any other news we got for WWE this week?
No, I mean I saw something this morning before we got on here. But it's really non-news. I mean, because I didn't even know this guy was still there. But you remember the assistant general manager of NXT UK, Ryan?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he got released today, which I didn't
Oh,
know he was still there.
why was he still under contract?
I have no idea.
um, the only thing I saw was Vince McMahon has put up uh for sale the remaining uh stock in TKO. So he
Hmm.
will be completely gone from WWE TKO altogether once those sell. So he's going to make
Wow.
a buttload of money, bastard. But, if that means we never have to even deal with him ever again, then that's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this Speaks on WWE video. We've got a lot of great videos coming your way. Tomorrow, the big AEW video. We're going to be talking about the footage. We're going to be talking about all that stuff. Also coming up later this week, a retro review of the Finger Poke of Doom, some fantasy booking, and we take our hand at trivia. So, like, comment, subscribe, check us out, and yeah, we'll see you next time.